Welcome to Madrid Reviews. This is your host, Christian Madrid, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about Squid Game Season 3, aka the final season. Let's get to the review now, yo. Alright, y'all, let's get into this. So, I just got done watching the final season of Squid Game, and it was amazing. It may be my favorite season of Squid Game ever, as it was brilliant and intense, and I think it was for sure the most intense season of Squid Game. I binged all 6 episodes in one day because this season was just so damn good, and it had me hooked and curious to see how it would end. And I can say I'm satisfied with how it ended. The creators of the show, y'all did one hell of a job with this show. Not only with this season, but the series as a whole. As you know, all 3 seasons are great. You know, the show is magnificent, and very few shows are so intense and unpredictable as Squid Game. I think Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and Squid Game are the 3 most unpredictable shows out there ever. The writing is spectacular in the show, as the storylines in this season are very good. And there's more games introduced in this season, like hide and seek. That was brutal, and jump rope, probably one of my favorites in this whole series. Jump rope was so good, and both games were very well executed. You know, in the show, very well, and there's a great blend of action, suspense, a little bit of comedy. You know, as this show is one of the most unpredictable shows, like I said earlier, that I've ever seen. As you know, characters are dying left and right. You know, in the season, there's no shortage of death and violence, and it turns it up a notch this season, and it keeps you guessing at the edge of your seat throughout. Lots of characters die in this season, with some deaths being very sad and some being really funny. Squid Game is a very fucked up show. You know that if you've been watching these past few seasons. You know, I enjoyed all 6 episodes, but my favorite episode was episode 2. You know, the episode was basically the hide and seek the whole game. This episode was perfect, and it fucking broke me with how intense and heartbreaking it is. When the mother killed her son. Spoiler alert. I'm getting into spoilers. My bad. I didn't say that. I'll put something in the beginning, but spoiler alert. Yeah. When the mother killed her son so she can save the girl and her baby, that was intense. That kid, that guy was gonna fucking die anyways. He was a fucking pussy, so he was gonna die sooner or later. But that was so heartbreaking. And then in the following episode, she ended up killing herself because she felt guilty. That was some heartbreaking shit, man. Fuck, that was brutal. I also really enjoyed the final episode of this series, as it ends in such a brilliant way. And I know some people might not like how it ends. That might be divisive. The fucking baby ends up winning the Squid Game. I kind of expected it. Once the baby was introduced into the game, it was gonna be like, oh, okay, the baby might win. It may or may not. You know, I'm cool with how it ended. I have no complaints, and I think it makes total sense because there are no happy endings in the world of Squid Game. And it also sets up very well the future, American Squid Game spinoff with Kate Blanchett at the end of it. I think it sets that up very well, and the acting is fantastic in this series, as all actors give terrific performances. But the center is, of course, Lee Jung-jae, aka Player 456, as he's great in this season and shows a range of different emotions. And his character dies at the last episode, and that was fucking heartbreaking. I kind of saw he would die sooner or later, but the way he dies, man, it was heartbreaking, but it also showed, that humanity, there's hope in humanity, and some humans could be good. It's not all evil in the world, even though most of the humans in this fucking show are evil, and that's what the show is trying to say, that this world is fucking evil, filled with evil people, especially when there's money involved, they're even more evil. But his death signified that there is some good in the world, that he let the baby live and he ended up dying. But it was still heartbreaking to see. The show has always been great, from a technical standpoint. The cinematography is beautiful. Production design is stellar with amazing set pieces. All these games have terrific set pieces. And the sound and visual effects are both magnificent aspects of this series. I also love the score in this show, as it makes the show even more intense and suspenseful. Overall, I enjoyed the hell out of Squid Game Season 3, as the show ended at the right time before it became repetitive, and it ended in a brilliant way. I am so excited to see the US version. You know, and it's got a lot to live up to, and I hope it don't disappoint. But check out Squid Game because it's a phenomenal show, and I think it's one of the best shows of the past decade, especially for Netflix. Man, this is the end of an era for Netflix. Man, Cobra Kai ended earlier this year. You ended. Now Stranger Things going in. Now Squid Game. Man, truly end of an era, man. Wow. But Squid Game, I give this an A plus, season 3. We eating very good. 5-course type meal type shit. You know, your favorite restaurant, you know, your favorite fancy restaurant, you know, type shit. Alright, y'all, that's the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Comment on whether you have seen Squid Game or you excited to see it. You know, if you've seen all Squid Game, let me know your thoughts. What is your favorite season of Squid Game? I think season 3 might be my favorite. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button alerts to know when I drop a new review. Appreciate you all for watching. See you on the next one. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, whatever time you're watching. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch me talk about movies and shows. Thank you. Bye-bye.